Shocksquatch is an alien from the Gimlin species. He first appeared in Heroes United, then later returned in Ben 10 Omniverse with a completely different design. His main ability is combining raw physical strength with powerful electrical attacks. In his first appearance in Heroes United, Shocksquatch looked like a massive ape, inspired by legendary creatures such as Bigfoot and the Yeti. His body was covered in 3 layers of thick fur, with colors such as white, black, and gray or dark cyan. These colors resembled the appearance of many mythical creatures. He had a pinkish-red face with thick, furry eyebrows. Circular gray metal bolts were attached to the backs of his hands and the sides of his jaw. He also had a muscular body with strong arms, legs, and feet, while the Omnitrix symbol was placed on his chest. In Omniverse, Shocksquatch returned with a completely redesigned appearance. Instead of looking like a giant cryptid, he became more gorilla-like, more athletic, and a bit shorter than before. In one episode, he was even shown in a scene inspired by classic Bigfoot sightings. He still kept the 3-layer fur design, but the colors and their placement changed. Most of his body became covered in yellow fur, while black fur appeared around his neck, waist, wrists, and lower legs. Between the black and yellow fur was white fur shaped like lightning bolts. He also gained a distinctive trident-shaped crest on his forehead made of yellow lightning patterns. His face became gray, and his teeth and fangs looked much sharper than before. The metal bolts were moved from the backs of his hands to the sides of his wrists, while the bolts from his jaw were relocated to the sides of his head. His hands and feet became more ape-like and much larger, allowing him to grab objects and climb more effectively. The Omnitrix symbol was also moved from his chest to a green and white belt around his waist. A Ben 23 version of Shocksquatch also appeared. He had blue eyes, a blue belt, darker yellow fur, and glowing blue light across his body, making him look shiny. Ben 10,000 also created a fused version of Shocksquatch and Crashhopper. The result was a hybrid alien combining insect-like features with animal-like anatomy in one body. Alongside Ben 10,000's fusion version, another related character was Yetta, a female member of the same species. Unlike the males, she has a more feminine appearance, with softer facial features and narrower shoulders. She has only 2 horns instead of 3, and yellow eyes instead of Shocksquatch's green ones. Her fur pattern is also different, featuring creamy white fur covering parts of her body, a second layer of yellow fur in a different shade than Shocksquatch's, and orange fur separating the layers in certain areas. Her metal bolts are orange instead of gray, and the bolts on her head have unique shapes resembling electrical sparks. The villain VV Arghost also draws inspiration from the same legendary cryptids that inspired Shocksquatch. However, his body is completely patched together from parts of different mythical creatures. In battle, Shocksquatch mainly relies on the electricity generated by his body and his massive physical strength. He can produce electricity powerful enough to shock anyone who makes contact with him. He can also concentrate his generated electricity into his fists and strike enemies with electrically charged punches that cause both physical and electrical damage. His electrical powers are not limited to close combat. He can fire electricity from his hands, horns, or mouth to attack enemies from a distance. When surrounded, he can release a powerful electrical field in all directions to electrocute multiple enemies at once. He is also capable of channeling electricity through the ground or across metal surfaces. In addition, Shocksquatch can channel electricity through nearby objects, allowing him to move and control them, a technique he learned from Yetta. Since he can manipulate those objects electrically, he can also compress them until they trigger a massive electrical explosion. Alongside his electrical powers, Shocksquatch heavily depends on his physical abilities. His muscular body and thick fur allow him to fight powerful opponents directly, survive dangerous impacts, endure strong attacks, and even survive falls from great heights. Despite his large size, he is surprisingly agile. He can chase enemies, climb high surfaces, leap into the air to dodge fast attacks, and run quickly on both two legs and all four limbs. He also possesses fast reflexes during combat. This balance of electricity, strength, durability, and agility is what makes Shocksquatch different from many other electricity-based aliens such as Feedback, Buzzshock, and Amphibian. While those aliens possess incredible electrical power, they are physically weaker in close combat. Frankenstrike is one exception because he also combines electricity with physical strength. However, even Frankenstrike is slower and less agile than Shocksquatch, who overwhelms enemies with his physical strength and fast movements before finishing them off with electricity. Despite his immense strength, Shocksquatch is not unbeatable and has clear weaknesses that certain opponents can exploit. In his fight against Fistrick, his electrical advantage was neutralized by insulated boots, shifting the battle into pure hand-to-hand combat, where Fistrick ultimately gained the upper hand and captured him. He also struggles against magic users like Charmcaster, who can turn his own attacks against him, making his electricity far less reliable in battle. Even in direct physical fights, opponents such as Tetramans or Ultimate Spider Monkey, with their superior strength and multiple arms, can overwhelm him and make victory very difficult. When Shocksquatch fused with Crashhopper, the fusion combined the abilities of both aliens. Crashhopper's ground-shattering kicks became charged with electricity, increasing their destructive power. His impact attacks were also enhanced with electrical shocks at the same time, making them even more dangerous. Although Shocksquatch does not have a dramatic origin story like some other aliens, he still added unique elements to the series. Unlike many serious alien transformations, Shocksquatch has a more comedic personality. His movements are loud and exaggerated, and his behavior mixes overconfidence with goofy charm. This helped bring a more fun and energetic atmosphere to Omniverse. At the same time, his design, inspired by legendary creatures such as Bigfoot and Sasquatch, added a folkloric and mythological feel to the series, especially for fans who enjoy cryptid legends.